We start today's show in Cleveland, where the Cavaliers are moving on to their fourth head coach in less than a year and a half. According to Woj, John Beilein out as the head coach of the Cavs after less than one season. The franchise promoting associate head coach JB Bickerstaff to become the full-time coach. Under Beilein, the Cavs posted a record of 14-40 this season, second worst in the league. Back in a January team meeting, of course, was the headline incident, Beilein referring to his players as, quote, no longer playing as a bunch of thugs. He later apologized, tried to walk it back, saying he meant, quote, slugs, not thugs. Apparently didn't wash with some of the players, though, because according to The Athletic, quote, multiple players began playing songs that included the word thug whenever Beilein was within earshot, sources said. Bone Thugs and Harmony's Thuggish Ruggish Bone and Tupac's Thug's Mansion among them. The team boarded the bus a few days after the incident. One player was intentionally playing Trick Daddy's I'm a Thug with Beilein a few feet away. Quote, the worst part to me was not owning it, not owning what he said, one player told The Athletic. So, Brian, the circus continues. What is the biggest issue facing the Cavs right now?
Well, Rachel, I hate to go back to the Kyrie Irving trade. I know it's one of your favorites.
You know how I feel about that trade?
I didn't understand that trade at the time. I didn't understand.
Really? Because Brian, unfortunately, has had to hear me.
And I don't want to relitigate it.
2.5 years saying they didn't have to trade him. They didn't have to trade him for that. Continue.
I didn't understand why they extended Kevin Love at $120 million after LeBron
You
left.
do know why that happened.
When I would have traded him if I was there. I didn't understand the John Beilein hire, to be honest with you. I'm on the fence about understanding the drafting of Darius Garland with Collin Sexton on the roster, but I'll wait on that because he's a rookie coming off a knee injury. I'll just wait. This is Collin Sexton's fourth coach. I did not understand them trading for Andre Drummond. I think they've done some small things as an organization. They've done some deals and some small moves, but a lot of their big moves over the last 2-3 years, I just frankly haven't understood. And this is another one. I didn't understand this hire. And I guess I give him credit because this was sort of initiated by John Beilein, from what I understand, and he wanted to leave. I guess I respect him saying, this isn't the job for me, I'm going to get out right now so that they can move on. But clearly, this was a flaw from the start. This was almost certainly never going to work. I don't think Kevin Love and the way he approached this season has helped him. But even if that was different, even if Kevin Love was gone, I'm not so sure this would have worked.
Well, B, you shouldn't understand because I don't understand. I'm pretty sure Rachel don't understand. I'm pretty sure the world don't understand. But I'm not going to blame the Cavs front office for this. I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that's Dan Gilbert. He makes horrible decisions. He's too hands-on when it comes down to the Cavaliers. Every decision that he puts his stamp on, it fails. He's too hands-on. When you look at the great organizations or the good organizations that's in the league, the Spurs, the Celtics, even the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, the owners put these GMs in position to do their jobs and they fall back. Dan Gilbert is hands-on. We all know this. We know at one point that they was about to trade Kyrie Irving in the 3-team deal for Paul George and probably acquire back Eric Bledsoe when David Griffin was there. He didn't want to give Griff his contract extension. Then all of a sudden, Griff walks. He hired Kobe Altman, who I like a lot. And then all of a sudden, you trade Kyrie for IT and Jay Crowder and Ante Zizic. And
the draft pick. He traded him for the draft pick.
And every time.
How'd that draft pick turn out?
That's what I'm saying. Every time you go, and by the way, he had a say in the draft pick.
That's right. And by the way, that's not a knock on the player that was drafted, but that draft pick was treated like it was a first round. It was a number 1 or number 2 draft pick, and it ended up being number 8. So you're going to get a number 8 draftee as opposed to a number 1 or 2 draftee, and you treated it like a number 1 or 2 draftee. I don't know, Perk. It is hard for me to tell where the division is between ownership and the front office. I do know everything you started with from the Kyrie trade on is, as Perk pointed out, after David Griffin left. And so somebody has the title of general manager, right? Kobe Altman has that title. So I'm going to give him the respect of saying that he makes some of his own decisions and is not just a mouthpiece for Dan Gilbert. So some of this is on his account. Some of it is on Dan Gilbert's account. There's just no question. 4 coaches in a year and a half? I mean, that is not
It's been 16 years in the NBA since we've seen a team change coaches mid-season in back-to-back years. So this is, even by the NBA standards of the revolving door head coach, this is abnormal.
And look, part of the reason I point out that pick and I talk about the Kyrie trade is one of the big points of that trade was, hey, we're preparing because we think LeBron James is going to leave again, and we don't want to end up in the same position we were last time, and we are not going to have a full rebuild.
But
this appears to be a rebuild,
I do think
and I'm not even sure which direction it's
going. The thing that's happened with Dan Gilbert is since he bought the team, he has always wanted out-of-the-box coaching candidates. He tried to hire John Calipari. He tried to hire Larry Brown. He tried to hire Bill Self. He hired David Blatt. He tried to hire Tom Izzo. Not Larry Brown. Tried to hire Tom Izzo. Did hire David Blatt. That didn't work out. Then he hired John Beilein. He finally got his college coach in John Beilein. He has tried to be outside the box, and for some things, outside the box is great.
Right.
But for the Cavs coaching, outside the box has not worked in Dan Gilbert's tenure.
Well, I do want to point out that J.B. Bickerstaff is a coach that players on that team have talked about really liking. In fact, some of the reporting earlier in the year was they were going to J.B. instead of John Beilein, so maybe now as the head coach, he will be more empowered. Bickerstaff took over the Rockets when Kevin McHale was fired. Bickerstaff took over the Grizzlies when David Fizdale was fired. Now he's taking over the Cavs when John Beilein is parting ways. I thought Jason Concepcion at The Ringer had a great comment this morning. Is this like an Angela Lansbury Murder, She Wrote situation? JB, sniffing the
sure this isn't the way JB wanted his coaching
No, it
career
is
to
not,
go.
and I'm joking, of course. I mean, look, it's interesting when a coach takes double digits in the millions. A loss, right? Didn't he walk away from $12 million?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
To not be a part of the organization anymore? That is a statement, and obviously the Cavaliers would like to go up from here because they are. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.